Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Divested Wife, and I am going to be reading and giving my opinion on the book titled How to Date and Marry the Right Black Woman, A White Man's Perspective, Which Black Women to Pursue, Which Ones to Avoid, and Which Ones to Marry by Jeff Brandon. Now, we just got done covering chapter 1, and we're moving on to chapter 2, which is titled The First Date. So I am going to be covering this chapter and giving my opinions in between. So let's get started.
The first meeting with the black woman you're trying to impress can be a very exciting moment. Of course, you want to make a great first impression, but you don't want to come on too strong. No matter how friendly she appears, it could be her first time going out with a white man and she may need time to get comfortable with things.
As a black woman, it's pivotal that you are practicing good etiquette when you're out on these dates. Be on your very best behavior, ladies. When you are being asked questions by your date, it shouldn't feel like they are pulling teeth to get answers out of you. You should be very engaging in your date, okay? When you're showing that you have proper etiquette, you're showing that not only that you have respect for yourself, but you have respect for your date and you have respect for others. And these are the qualities that men want in girlfriends and wives. A lot of black women, they lack in these social etiquette skills, and they will go on dates with white men and display these antisocial behaviors and then can't figure out why men are not calling them back. The ones that they want are not pursuing them. This is the reason why. It's because you lack social etiquette and you lack that sort of awareness. But if you are now aware of this, it is paramount that you make the necessary changes so that you're not running away good men out of your life.
If it's your first interracial date, try not to let it show. If you look uncomfortable, she will pick up on it, and she will begin to feel uncomfortable.
I agree with him 100% on this one. When you're on a date with a white man who has never been with a black woman before, normally he will show that some way or another. I went on a date with a white guy and he would barely even say 2 words to me, to the point where I was annoyed. I'm like, why did you even ask me out on a date if you're going to sit here and not even speak to me? Now, I didn't say this out loud to him, but in the back of my head, this is what I was thinking. And I never spoke to him again, even though he tried to message me and say, would you like to go on another date? By that time, I had already moved on.
Be calm and relax. Like any first date, the more natural you are, the better the date will go. It will help her begin to relax and enjoy herself. It's a first date, so avoid serious subject and conversations.
This conversation desperately needs to be had. Ladies, under no circumstances is it okay to bring up race on the first date if you're a black woman, in my opinion. Now, with white men, they may ask you if this is your first time dating a white guy. I think that's a harmless question. But if you're a black woman and you're on a first date with a white man, when you sit up here and you're bringing up race and bringing up police brutality and Black Lives Matter and stuff, to me, that is a clear signal that you hate white people, that you don't need to be on a date with a white person. Like, you need to just stay in Blackistan and stay over there and have Tyrone knocking you upside your head, impregnating and dumping you. That is what you need, okay? Don't come over here in the interracial corners and ruin things for all of us, okay? So if you're a black woman and you're divested and you're on a online dating app, you need to put your political affiliation on your dating app so that white men know how to identify you, because these mammies are out here on these internet streets making everyone look stupid as fuck. We were just talking about this, black women going on dates with white men and making complete fools of themselves. You look like a fucking colorist weirdo if you're sitting on a date obsessing over him being white and obsessing about talking about race. Okay, to the point where you can't even do basic normal stuff like watch TV, and he got to walk on eggshells, scared to offend you. Okay, no, you need to keep your ass over in Blackistan and go deal with Tyrone. All right, and leave the Brads alone, because that's just fucking ridiculous. You hate white men that much, you shouldn't even be going on dates with them. That's how I feel. Why are you dating a white man if you hate him that much? Is it because you want some babies with some good hair? Okay, you want some light-skinned babies? Okay, that is what it's giving. I don't know why y'all sit up here and try to copy and emulate divestors. The moment you open your mouth, the mammy just comes right out. Okay? If you're on a first date and you're sitting here obsessing over him being white, you look like a fucking colorist weirdo. Okay? Colorist mammy weirdo. Fuck out of here, you know? These women, they literally wake up every morning and they repeat the mantra in their head. I'm a victim, I'm a slave, I'm black, I'm a victim, I'm a slave. And then got the nerve to be sitting here calling themselves queens and goddesses. No, you're not a queen. You're not a goddess. You a victim and a slave, just like you profess every day in your head, okay? If you're walking through life talking about I'm a victim, I'm a slave, I'm a victim, I'm a slave, the white man's out to get me, I'm a victim, I'm a slave, then you are not no queen or no goddess. Stop fooling yourself, okay? That is like water and oil. Those two things do not mix. Us divestors, our mantra is I'm a goddess, I'm a queen, I'm a goddess, I'm a queen, okay? We're not operating out of no conquered, defeated slave-like mentality. That is why we have more success in interracial dating than you do. That is why. Don't be mad at us because we refuse to subscribe to the black victim mentality. No, I don't subscribe to that. I know I went on a bit of a tangent, but I just had to get that off my chest. But anyway, back to the sisterhood. If this is your first date with a Brad, congratulations. I am so proud of you for stepping out of your box. And all I can say is go in there with a aura of having fun, okay? It is fun going on dates. It is exciting meeting new people. So you should be very happy right now.
Try to keep things light and fun. Don't start a dinner date where you feel forced to talk to each other. Try a fun activity like putt-putt golf or walking tours. You can both be more laid back and free to roam, not stuck in a tight sitting where you're sitting across from one another the entire date. One of the biggest differences between an interracial first date with a black woman and a first date with a white woman is the added attention from the public. This can sometimes add extra pressure, so try first date options that lighten that pressure.
So when my husband and I came across this part in the book, we both looked at each other and chuckled because on our first date, we went to a Mexican restaurant and everything went fine. The conversations flowed very naturally. It felt like we've known each other for many, many years, even though it was our first date. The sexual chemistry was there. The emotional chemistry was there. The intellectual chemistry was there. And my husband and I agreed that we don't think that we would have been able to achieve this same level of intimacy so quickly had we went on a date to go play putt-putt golf or went on a walking tour, because these activities are very distracting, okay? Not to mention they're not very romantic. So we don't agree with this advice that he's giving. We think that the best dates are the ones where you are face-to-face talking to each other. And if that makes you feel full of anxiety and fear, then you sound like you might have some anxiety issues, okay, that you need to work through before you even consider dating. All right? Because when you go on a date, your main focus should be on that date, not whether or not people are looking at you. When my husband took me out on a date for the first time, he told me that his main focus was solely on me and finding out whether or not we were compatible. That's it. And I have the same sentiments, okay? When I went on a date, my main focus was finding out whether or not he was compatible with me and that this is the man that I can build a life with, all right? I wasn't focusing on the man eating the burrito next to me or anybody else. I don't care. We don't care. Okay. And for the most part, people don't care. Yes, being in an interracial relationship does give you some attention, but people are not going to be up in that restaurant just staring at you the entire date. Most people realize that staring is very rude. Okay. They'll briefly glance over at you, but then they're going to turn around and focus back in on their food and their own date and the company that they came into that restaurant and bar with, not sitting up in here staring at you. All right. We're living in the future. We don't live in the past. All right. Most people have seen a white man with a black woman before. Okay. It's not like we're walking around here like aliens with two heads. All right. Most people do not care.
As a man, you should be running things on the date. But make sure it's done in a friendly and charming kind of way.
So when he said that the man should take the lead in the date, I agree with him 100%, because anytime a woman steps into a position of a man and she starts pursuing a man heavily, and she's the one asking him out on dates, and she's the one, paying for the dates and so forth. I think that most men find that very unattractive. Now, the only type of men that find this attractive are men who are comfortable resting in their femininity. All right? So be very cautious about this, ladies. If you're the one taking the lead, if you're the one picking the places and making all the plans, then he is not into you like that, because most men like to pursue women and take the lead.
Give her a little time to warm up to you. Because of the possible cultural differences between white men and black women, she might need a little time to loosen up and get to know your personality and sense of humor.
So one of the things I noticed about white men is the vast majority of them, when they're flirting with black women, they do so in such a subtle way that black women don't even realize that they are getting hit on by white guys, okay? I think that everyone should refrain from using sarcasm until you get to know that person's sense of humor. Case in point, that white passing biracial who took the black girl out on a date, and she kept saying over and over again, well, I don't really date white guys. Well, to the most of us, that sounds like sarcasm. And I'm pretty sure to him that sounds like sarcasm too. And he said, well, I don't really date black girls. And it's quite obvious to us that he's being sarcastic, but to her, she took it as an insult and decided to storm out and make a scene. And she's got to hold that L, because to me, if you can't take it, then you shouldn't even be dishing it. And a lot of black women, y'all are some edgelords and don't even realize it. And I'm not talking about no edge control. I'm talking about y'all be saying edgy stuff, and then you got the nerve to get offended when your date is being edgy right back to you. So refrain from using sarcasm until you get to know who your date is and what their sense of humor is.
Don't make any strong romantic moves too soon unless you get a signal from her to approach. Again, if this is her first interracial date with a white man, she might need time to get comfortable.
Let me add this as well. Any white man who has any respect or class is not going to sit up here and make you feel uncomfortable on the first date by aggressively pursuing you and making all these sexual comments and innuendos and so forth, okay? I've been on dates with these type of men, and I can tell you that to me, all I see is a walking red flag. Because if you're behaving like this towards me and you just met me, then that means that you're behaving like this towards every woman that you find sexually attractive. And I don't have time for that. So be aware of that, ladies. If he is not trying to make any efforts to make you feel comfortable on that first date, then that is a red flag that he is definitely not the one. And ladies, this can go both ways. If you're out on a date with a man, make sure that you're not overly sharing and that you're not overly being flirtatious, okay? When my husband and I went out to a concert last year, we seen a interracial couple at the Vineyard, okay? And they were eating. And the black girl, she kept trying to sit on his lap. She kept trying to stroke his hair, just touching all over him, all in his face. It was so cringe. It was just awful, okay? Because it's quite clear that he wasn't that into her like she was into him, all right? So don't be that girl. Don't be that girl sitting up in here throwing yourself at men. That is highly unattractive, okay? Men who are in their masculine do not want to be pursued by women. They want to be the ones doing the pursuing, all right? You cannot force attraction. You cannot force a man to make you a girlfriend or a wife. So don't think that you're going to go on a first date and you're going to force a man to find you attractive. Matter of fact, you're going to do the complete opposite and run him off. It is absolutely important that a woman knows the art of seduction, because you don't need to have your hands all over him in order for him to touch you. All you have to do is look at him in a seductive-like manner, and he's going to know you're ready.
Don't make any strong romantic moves too soon unless you get a signal from her to approach. Again, if it's her first interracial date with a white man, she may need time to get comfortable. Pay attention to her body language. You'll know when she is feeling relaxed. Once you see she's enjoying herself and reach your comfort level, then feel free to release all the romantic charm you like. She'll then be ready to open up to you and also be more locked in on what you are saying to her. You should be working your magic from this moment on.
So that concludes chapter 2 of How to Date and Marry the Right Black Woman, a White Man's Perspective. If you like this video, smash that like button and subscribe for more content below. Also, don't forget to hit that notification bell so you're always updated every time I upload a new video. Thank you for watching.